Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Hello, hello, hello. I'm wearing shoes. Hello, everybody. I hope y'all are doing well. Y'all, if you can hear me, drop a number one in that comment section. Let me know you can hear me. Let me know I'm not just talking to myself. I hope everybody's doing just lovely. Indy, we got a number one. I do thank you, and I hope you're doing well. It sounds like you're all snuggled up there in the snow. Welcome to the sofa. Everybody, welcome Miss Indy and welcome Miss Emily. They are our moderators, our friends, and what do you call it? And staff and chief and staff, whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, welcome to the damn sofa. I hope everybody's doing well. Yeah. Today, we are going to, let's see here. There's Emily. Hello, Emily. Hey, Sandy. Hey, Debbie. Hello, Holly. Hello, Carly. Hello, Shannon. Are the puppies on the, yeah, actually, you know what? They're so cute right now. Them and Jake are on the sofa and have this like little, like very silky little blanket and they're all laying on it sleeping. They've just all been, it's getting like really cold here today. Like really, really cold. Like it started off in the 50s and now it's like warm, but it's like free. I'm actually getting cold in the house. So they've just been kind of like cold, calm dogs, right? I know. Yeah, we got the Golden Girls. I don't know why my mic. I think I hit my mic and it muted. Yeah, we got the Golden Girls going on today. So whoop 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 whoop. If you are on TikTok, you will know that it is back in stock. It shut down for less than 24 hours and it's back. We will see what is up their sleeves though, because something is definitely going on with that. So we are continuing. Wait, can y'all still hear me? Does it sound okay? I hit the cord and then I had to like change it. Um, when you can still hear me, okay. Okay, I feel like I was just. It could be, yeah. I felt like it was the way that it went down with it shutting down. I just felt like it was all pre-planned. It was all something behind the scenes. I wasn't overly worried about it. So, we'll see. But we're going to continue on with our Blake Lively lawsuit. Okay. They're going to have to kind of help me remember where exactly we're at. Oh, Mandy, thank you very much. Mandy says, I have 4 Yorkies, 3 girls and 1 boy. His name is Jake. Oh my God, I love that. Yeah, I've got 2. We already know 2 Yorkies, Bolo. Matt has 2 Chihuahuas. I mean, they're big Chihuahuas, but they're Chihuahuas. Jake and Oliver, they're so cute. And I've actually got all of them listening to sit except for Jake at this point. Um, AC says it's funny the creators that nuked their channels and now they're back. So many people spill the tea on themselves, which I mean, obviously it's gonna like blow up and get them clout or whatever. And now they're coming back, and it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, I wasn't really doing whatever. So funny. So let me find our little screen up here. We're just gonna keep going. We'll see how much we get through. Weedy, first of all, thank you for being a member for 10 months. The Boone's childhood friend. No, how do I look that up? Pardon me. Oh my God, that's so good. Okay, let's see here. Oh goodness, it's already starting. It's been a long day. Yeah, we've been going all day. It hit me. I was like, oh no, we might have a. Well, most of my lives are kind of short, but you know what I mean. We might have like just a regular old short left. We'll see. Okay, where is this? Yes. Okay, can y'all see me? Let's just do it like this. Okay. I think we were at F. Do y'all remember? I'm just kind of looking. Wait, let's see here. Let's see. Okay, let's see. I don't remember this part. Just into. Let's see Lively. None of it seems familiar. Wait, I remember this part. I feel like maybe we stopped here. Let me come back to y'all and see if y'all say yes, an interview. I'm gonna start there because it was yeah. You ended in section 6, Paul. Okay. Let's see here. Well, Lord, I don't know if this is section 6. Did I, did I already pass it? No day players? I don't remember that. I'm just on this other page right here. I'm going to switch back in a second. Never tell you. Yeah, I don't remember this. Point 8, so point 7. Okay. No, we got farther than this. Okay. So point 6, Emily says, hold on. Rejected NC, you may have. Sandy says you were rejected the NC, you may have blocked it out. I mean, literally, okay. I mean, 100%. Me Queen. I hope I'm saying it. I can't say it. Me Quine. I hope I'm saying your name right. I want somebody to talk about Patreon. We tune in because I really. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, hey Amy, how's it going? How are you doing? I hope y'all are doing good over there. Oh Lord, I hope everything's fine. Pardon me. We're gonna start at this section right here. Let's And if you're following me and other stuff, I'm doing the Ruby Frankie's daughter's book, Sherry Frankie. My God. Y'all. That one is a bit of a roller coaster ride. Okay. Hey, 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 hey. Okay. So we're gonna start. Okay, here we go. Point 6. No one to enter live while she's undressed. I remember this one. Okay, we'll start here just to get whatever. Okay. The suggestion that this ever happened is illogical and categorically false. No one would or did enter her trailer without knocking first and asking permission. More than once, Lively invited Baldoni, Heath, and other producers into her trailer so that she could multitask, understandably balancing motherhood with her work obligations. Regrettably, while accommodating Lively, Baldoni and Heath were led into situations that would later be characterized as harassment. Lively herself invited Baldoni to her trailer to work on lines while she pumped breast milk. Lively regularly breastfed in front of Baldoni while they had meetings. Heath was invited into her trailer for a meeting at her request while she was having makeup removed from her collarbone because she was not able to meet at another time. Her nanny, makeup artist, and assistant were present, and Lively was not topless, she claims elsewhere, but was fully covered while either nursing or pumping breast milk. In this instance, he was instructed to turn away while they spoke and respectfully did so. While they figured out a time to meet with the other producers standing just outside the door, and as Heath pleaded with Lively to have the meeting the next morning to avoid her getting home late and losing shoot time the following day. While it is possible he inadvertently made eye contact at one point, he does not recall. Lively later mentioned he did, and it made her uncomfortable, to which he responded, "I'm so sorry. I really didn't realize." Lively responded, "I know you weren't trying to cop a look," and they moved on. This is okay. So far what we've read so far, it seems to me like she might be the type of person too to create awkward situations, and like she's comfortable in those awkward situations and also comfortable with making people uncomfortable. You see what I'm saying? Like, because the way she'll turn, like, it's almost like it takes a calculated person, again, if this is true, right, to do something and then turn around and be like, oh, well, no, you did this. And it's kind of like, well, say the first time it can be understandable, like, okay, whatever took place here, maybe that wasn't right. But then the way that the affidavit or whatever it's called keeps coming back and saying, like, well, for somebody who was supposed to be super uncomfortable, she kept putting herself and creating these other situations that would or should be really uncomfortable for somebody who's already uncomfortable. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I don't know. Yeah, Andy says some people like to make other people uncomfortable. Yeah. But Sandy has a good theory. I have a feeling she came onto him, he rejected her, and it pissed her off. Totally. That could totally be it. Okay, here we go. Here we are. Lively suggestion that not one but two professional and conscientious men barged into her trailer several times or attempted to enter or pressure her to allow them to enter offends not only their long established integrity, but the sanctity of their vows to their wives and their dedication to their children and families. Lively is aware that both men are incredibly supportive and respectful of motherhood, to say the least. Heath's wife is a vocal advocate for postpartum mothers. Baldoni's wife co founded a company that designed a breastfeeding garment, a prototype that originated with his mother when he was an infant. Baldoni had gifted Lively one. While those facts would never be an excuse for barging in unannounced, it is indicative, please hold, let me scroll down, of the nature of their relationship with and respect for women. Simply put, such allegations are categorically false claims that would have been wildly out of character if they are true. Number 7, no no filming nude or S scenes except per nudity rider, and no use of prior nude scenes without nudity rider. Lively was provided a nudity rider approved by the SAG intimacy coordinator and was given ample opportunity to provide notes before production commenced. Despite constant pursuit over several months, Lively's attorney never produced notes, and Lively not only didn't sign the nudity rider during the first phase of production, but never even signed her employment agreement. Her main concern, while Wayfarer's lawyers were all but begging for signatures, was ensuring her fee was deposited into escrow. In order to move forward, they had to pay her fee, even though she hadn't signed her agreement. I mean, again, this just sounds like somebody who, in every turn they take, does something to make the situation very uncomfortable and like just all sorts of yuckiness. I mean, like every single thing they talk about, it sounds like just it's almost like if you went into work and I mean, so we reduce it down to our level. Like think of like coworkers you've had that are like this, but like in the way that we know, right? I mean, I've worked with people like this, obviously not on movie sets, but it's like they come in and they either get entertainment or they're bored or something. I don't know, but every single opportunity they can create conflict, they will. They are constantly looking for any kind of thing to take advantage or to create something that could victimize themselves, something, right? Yeah, Lawyer B, and hello, Lawyer B. Lawyer B says she's just trying to save face with this lawsuit, but much of her actions remind me of her, literally. And yeah, Shawnee says Amber Heard 2.0, 100%. 100%, right? Okay, let's keep going. Okay. The Screen Actors Guild, SAG-AFTRA, states that producers must provide actors at least 48 hours notice before call time to review and negotiate a nudity rider. A nudity rider approved by SAG-AFTRA intimacy coordinator working on the production was provided to Lively's counsel on May 8, 2023. Wayfarer's attorney communicated that they would like it signed May 11, 2023, and requested they send any notes they may have On May 12th, 2023, Lively's attorney finally responded that they were reviewing the nudity rider and would come back with notes. Their focus then shifted to ensuring Lively's fee was deposited in escrow, and they became fixated on that, despite Wayfair's repeated requests for Lively to sign the customary certificate of engagement. Let me scroll down. First, ultimately, despite constant pursuit, it became clear that Lively had no intention of signing the nudity rider or her contract at that time. Now, hold on 1 second. Let's just get to please hold. What is, I know it probably told us this earlier, but I don't remember. I'm like, what is a nudity rider? A legal document attached to an actor's contract that outlines the specific details of nudity, and simulated S scenes they're required to perform in a film or television production, ensuring their informed consent and protecting their boundaries regarding what can be depicted on camera. Okay. So, yeah. So that's just outlining everything to make sure that nothing's like, what are you talking about? Hey, Lost Ronin, how's it going? I hope y'all are nestled in over in your neck of the woods. Hopefully the weather's going to be okay. I'm headed over there tomorrow morning for the gym. If they're open, I got to see this holiday. That's right. Anyways, let's keep going. I'm talking out loud. I'm going through my to-do list for y'all now. Right? Hold on a second. Okay. Now, the little thing here says, when working with an actor who may take time to sign the main actor agreement, it's customary to send a certificate of engagement to protect the copyright of the film. Wayfair negotiated the terms of said certificate of engagement, but though it was approved by Lively's counsel, never received a signed copy. Lively's counsel. Hello, blank. I hope you enjoyed the 4th of July. Very confused at what's going on here. Escrow was made in good faith, and we still don't have a signed COE that has been confirmed for almost 2 months. Also, we still don't have the SAG start paperwork, which has been outstanding for over a month. Lastly, please confirm the last 2 payments are still being held in escrow. Thanks, Wayfair's counsel. Months later, the demand for a nudity rider became a part of the 17 demands and presented as if it were Wayfair and not Lively who was the cause of its absence. The demand also stated that any footage previously shot without the nudity rider in place may not be used without Lively and her legal representatives' consent, despite the fact that no simulated S had been filmed yet. In fact, only one scene involving some simulated nudity had even been filmed, and it was the scene that Lively knew of well in advance, given that she wrote it herself when it would be filmed and directed the action herself, never requesting a nudity rider or an intimacy coordinator. Here's the thing, too, y'all. This is what I'm talking about. Y'all, it's like, I don't even know what to say. It's like she's creating, again, allegedly, right? We don't know if this is their side of the story, but the receipts do seem to add up. It's like creating the scenarios. It's almost like she sees how she can lay it out, and then they set themselves up for failure. Correct, 100%. It's like she sets them up these little what do you call those, like landmines around, and waits for him to go step on it. It's like she knows what she's doing, or she's just completely like oblivious to everything, and it's just a hot mess express, and this is the outcome, right? I mean, who knows? Like if this goes to trial or anything, like she's cooked. Okay, she's not gonna get. You think anybody's been knocking Amber Heard's door down? Absolutely not, right? Here we go. Point 8, Lively entitled to personal representative on set. Wayfair had no objection to allowing Lively a personal representative on set. Point 9, notice of COVID-19 exposure. On April 26, 2023, weeks before principal photography of the film commenced, Wayfair sent crew a COVID-19 protocol update, informing them that the AMPTP return to work agreement expires on May 12, 2023, and as such, there is no pre-employment testing and no mask requirements after May 12, 2023. Although the AMPTP return to work agreement that established COVID protocols expired prior to the start of principal photography and no testing or masking was required, Wayfair agreed to inform Lively if production became aware that she was exposed to COVID. Point 10. No retaliation for request. While Wayfair in no way conceded that Lively's demands amounted to a report of genuine S misconduct, Wayfair had no interest in retaliating against Lively for making these demands. Their only desire was to make a great movie. In the interest of maintaining a professional and productive atmosphere on set, they agreed to meet all of her demands, including a broadly defined statement that they would not retaliate in any manner, including sarcasm. Wayfair agreed, though later it became clear that Lively would consider any future effort to push back against her demands with respect to the production as unacceptable retaliation. On information and belief, this demand was included to safeguard Lively not from retaliation, but to secure her place as leader of the film with the threat of claims of retaliation if Wayfair or Baldoni pushed back. Point 11. Mutually agreed Sony representative, I keep saying that, required on set. Wayfair agreed to the concept of having a Sony representative on set whenever Lively was on set, though it gently pushed back on the idea that it would always be Angie Giannetti, who might occasionally have other pressing work obligations. Overall, however, Wayfair agreed. Point 12. Additional Lively approved producer to be hired to supervise filming. Wayfair pointed out that the additional expense and contractual implications of hiring an additional producer would have detrimental effects on this production. In the end, Wayfair agreed, as it would cost production more if Lively refused to return to work. Todd Black, suggested by Tony and approved by Lively, was ultimately brought on as an additional producer. Point 13. Existing third-party producers empowered to actively supervise the production. While disagreeing with the suggestion that any producer did not have appropriate and customary authority to actively supervise the production in their capacity as producer, Wayfair agreed to this term. Any third-party producer was already empowered to do so. Point 14. Wayfair to use Lively approved body and stunt doubles for intimate and violent scenes. Despite not requesting this at the contract negotiation phase, Lively's pre-approved stunt and body doubles were fully acceptable to Wayfair, and so they agreed, despite the fact that was an additional and unplanned expense to the film. Ultimately, no body doubles were used in the film at Lively's request. Lively and Baldoni displayed a courteous and professional relationship throughout Phase 2 of production. Point 15. No filming nude or S scenes of any actor's portrayal of Lily except per nudity rider, and no use of prior nude scenes without nudity rider. This was an overstep, an attempt to expand Lively's right to her own nudity rider to assert control of the nudity rider for another actor, the actor who portrayed young Lily. While seeing this as infringing on the young actor's independent right to her own nudity rider, Wayfair once again was forced to agree while informing Lively that young Lily had already filmed her intimate scenes pursuant to her own nudity rider. Point 16. All day players must be hired through talent agencies, not personal connections. This point appeared to relate to Lively's misleading claim that Baldoni inappropriately cast a personal friend to play the obstetrician during Lily's birth scene. Baldoni casting an experienced actor who happens to be a friend is no different than casting Lively's sister, who was cast because she is Lively's sister. I mean, I cannot with this. The hypocrisy makes when it comes to the screen. The actor portraying the obstetrician is an award-winning Shakespearean-trained actor with an MFA in acting from UCLA, and in addition to appearing on numerous hit television shows, has toured nationally with the Tony Award-winning acting company and attended Oxford's acting program on full scholarship. His accolades and performances speak for themselves. Lively's current complaint states she was alarmed when Baldoni introduced him as his friend and allowed him to play this intimate role in which the actor's face and hands were in close proximity to her nearly nude genitalia. Emphasis added. Categorizing the experience as invasive and humiliating, it is Lively suggesting that a highly trained and experienced actor would have an unseemly interest in being in close proximity to her near-nude genitalia, which, as previously established, was not nude or exposed. That is inappropriate, invasive, and humiliating to the actor. To reiterate, Lively knowingly made a false statement that only a small piece of fabric covered her genitalia during the birth scene. In fact, Lively was wearing briefs during the scene and was covered by a hospital gown. It was wearing a pregnancy suit covering her midsection. This was not in any way nude or a partially nude scene. Once again, Wayfair agreed despite being wholly offended by this accusation. Okay, let's pause for a second so I can get some water. So again, y'all, this is insane. Literally insane. Again, if this is all true and whatnot, I mean, she's just making stuff up. I mean, it's like, and look at how complicated everything is. It's like coming in and changing everything around, and they're held hostage, right? I mean, you heard them. It costs more money to replace her and shoot everything over again than to just give in to this. So I'm like, I can't. I can't with this. I can't imagine working with someone like this. Okay, let's finish it up. There's 17. We're at point 17. Okay, all hands meeting before production resumes. Wayfair understood this request to be a sincere offer to meet and discuss the needs and preferences of Lively and other cast members to ensure comfort and security while filming a movie that dealt with difficult themes. In that spirit, Wayfair readily agreed, believing that an opportunity to discuss concerns openly and to plan resuming production would be welcome. As will be established. Wayfarer's good faith belief could not have been farther from the truth behind this demand. Lively, with support of her husband, used this demand to justify an ambush of Baldoni and Heath on the eve of the first day of filming in phase 2 of production. Importantly, Sony, who had a representative on set, found, and please hold, the 17 requests confusing as well. Okay, so here's this little email. Hey, Jamie, take a look at the following. Wait, take a look at this following. Take a look at this following our conversation. No change in my mind from what we discussed last evening. Items 1 through 10, 15, and 17 are basically just yes, of course. Interestingly, I'm surprised that you all don't already have a negotiated nudity rider in place, given the subject matter and content of the book. Or am I misinterpreting her comment? Items 11 through 13, I'd want to hear more about what is underlying and what she's hoping to accomplish. Respectfully, of course. In the hope that some combination of the studio representative and her and the empowerment of Alex, presumably, whatever that means, again, hoped for clarification, might mitigate the need to engage an additional A-level producer. Item 14 is another question mark since it sounds like she approved the engaged stunt double. And for item 16, I guess I'm confused about this one as well, and why the engagement of day players has found its way on the list. Perhaps some of the upcoming sensitive scenes involve day players extras, and this is an attempt to manage the perception of their professionalism. Anyway, again, another clarification point. Further, as discussed, overall, the tone of the response has to be part denying the underlying insinuations and allegations, but doing so in a way that doesn't inflame or escalate further, since most of what's going on the list, Wayfair is acknowledging and addressing. And of course, any unease on her part is of paramount concern to the production, and you all are committed to working with her to ensure that she's comfortable with the plan and execution of the next few weeks in order to complete photography, right? I'm going to send a copy to folks internally and ask that our production attorney offer any assistance to blank and blank with respect to the drafting that they may feel they need. Best, Sony Business Affairs. Okay, before returning to production, Lively had even more script notes and changes beyond what was already performed during phase 1 of production. In the face of these terrifying and false accusations couched as demands, as well as Lively's threat that she would not return to production, Baldoni realized he needed to cede control of the script to Lively as she wished. His film would be taken from him by threats and coercion, and there was nothing to be done about it. In an email to his team containing the notes of his revised script, he expressed his sadness and frustration over Lively's takeover of a film that they spent years developing, writing, and funding. Having no energy left to fight, he sadly declared he was waving the white flag and submitting, and would give Lively 98% of what she wants. He also expressed serious concern over how to handle the intimacy scenes, given the accusations inherent in Lively's return to production demands. Baldoni asked his producing partners to guide him, and he was rightfully afraid of the risk that something innocuous or not to Lively's standards would very likely be used against him, as it already had, continuing that creativity is impossible in an environment shrouded by fear. By now, we all know what she is capable of. Baldoni's fear of Lively's retaliation was palpable, but he was determined to get the film to the finish line for everyone involved. I mean, wow. I mean, I don't blame. It's like at a certain point, you're just exhausted. You're just like, just take it. I mean, what else can you do? You're in it. Okay. From Justin to members of production team. Attached is a revised script with the below notes, caveats, and bold. This is not final as there are things we need to discuss and then implement. Also, I have added in blank your AD here to have eyes on this so he can digest at the same time as all of you. I've spent the better part of the last few days trying to figure this out. Everyone knows how I feel about all of this and how angry I am that Blake has taken over our film and somehow rewrote a movie we spent years developing, writing, and funding. So, yes, I am furious and sad, but I will continue to get back up with the goal of getting us to the finish line. I have come to terms with the fact that the only way out is through. I am waving the white flag and submitting. I am going to give her 98% of what she wants. I'm sure none of us have the energy to fight anymore. The team who has been working their ass off needs a shooting script on January 2nd. So here's where we are. There are minor things I did to each scene. Some I made notes on and tiny ones I didn't. Most of what I touched is below. The big issues are going to be intimacy, how and what we are shooting for those scenes, and how the script is going to be presented to her and with what notes. To that end, we all need to get on the phone and talk through it, as the risk of something innocuous or not meeting her standards could and would very likely be used against me, as it already has, and creativity is impossible in an environment shrouded by fear. By now, we all know what she is capable of. I mean, yeah, this is next level. A producer thanked Baldoni for his thoughtful breakdown, especially considering the circumstances. Thank you for the thoughtful breakdown, JB, especially this week and especially consider the circumstances. I'm free after 2 Pacific time today or before 12 Pacific time. Pardon me. As producers continued, where are we? Here we go. As producers continued to request the final shooting script as they were just 4 days before commencement of filming, Baldoni worked hard with very limited time to rework the script and direction to meet Lively's demands, recognizing they would be in a negotiation for what the final script looks like. Lively's demands continued to cause additional work and stress for the production team. From Justin. Hey, buddy, unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to be able to send anything until Thursday night or so. I'm not quite sure how to handle, but I'm doing these small rewrites, and I'm going to be sending back to the producers and all of you, and then they're going to send it to Blake. And then we will be in negotiation for what the final script looks like. Meanwhile, on the day before the commencement of the second phase of filming, Lively casually reached out to Baldoni, together with Heath and the film's producers, to meet in her home. Lively's return to production demands required a meeting before filming resumed. On the day before filming, Baldoni, Heath, a Sony representative, the film's first assistant director, and 2 producers arrived with production binders in tow, excited to discuss details of resuming production. But Lively and her husband had a very different meeting in mind. Hold on, let me check it right quick. I'm just checking in over here. Okay, cool. Everything's going good. I'm just checking in over here, make sure that y'all aren't like, Paul, you're on mute. You know what I'm saying? This is so bad, y'all. You could just tell that how much pleasure she gets out of making these people miserable. Again, if it's true. Okay, here we go. Let me scroll down. So Lively brought Reynolds as her chosen representative. I mean, seriously. Notably, she did not request any attendees from her union, the Screen Actors Guild. Together, Reynolds and Lively blindsided the rest of the group with a list of grievances read aloud by Lively that were as troubling as they were fictional. Reynolds then launched into an aggressive tirade berating Baldoni in what Baldoni later described as a traumatic encounter. As Baldoni later said, he had never been spoken to like that in his life. Reynolds demanded that Baldoni apologize to Lively for actions that had either never happened or had been grossly mischaracterized. Baldoni resisted apologizing for things he had not done, further enraging Reynolds. Everyone, including the producer, Lively, had asked the production to engage, and the Sony representative left the meeting in shock. The producer said that in his 40-year career, he had never seen anyone speak to someone like that in a meeting. The Sony representative said later that she often thought of the meeting, and her one regret was not intervening to stop Reynolds' tirade against Baldoni. Baldoni and Heath left the meeting deeply unsettled by Lively and Reynolds' behavior and the power dynamics at play. It was clear to them that this was the last escalation in Lively's concerted campaign of extortion to extract concessions and creative control over the film, a campaign now apparently joined by Reynolds. Nonetheless, faced with persevering in the face of extortionate threats versus shutting down a film halfway through production with all the attendant financial and reputational implications, Wayfarer had virtually no choice but to resume production and finish the film despite the newfound certainty that Lively was intentionally manipulating, distorting, and inventing facts to use as a cudgel against Wayfarer. The stakes could hardly have been higher for Wayfarer. Financiers had invested substantial resources, hundreds of cast and crew members had endured months without work due to the strikes, and years of development had gone into bringing the film to life. Moreover, Baldoni and Heath shared a conviction that It Ends With Us could still provide a powerful opportunity to center the voices and stories of domestic abuse survivors. It's crucial to note that the list of grievances read at the January 4th, 2024 ambush were new, separate and apart from the 17-point return to production demands, and were never presented to any of the parties present. Though Lively's CRD complaint misleadingly suggests the parties agreed to a list of 30 items, many of the items listed on the CRD complaint were new, entirely based on lies, and neither read nor provided to any of the parties, let alone agreed to. The only document presented to the parties was the 17-point return to production demands presented on November 9th, 2023, and signed over 2 weeks after this meeting. On January 19, 2024, Lively's CRD complaint, which on information and belief had decimated to the New York Times well in advance of any legal filing, is riddled with blatant and deliberate misrepresentations, as is her complaint here. Now, here's my question as we're reading this. I'm going to stop for a second. What is the end goal? Okay, so like obviously it's like she's wanting to take over the movie and make it her own, blah. So I guess to me, I'm thinking, is it she's looking to get like more money for it? Is it going to make her a name that escalates her career? Like, what is the point for that? You see what I'm saying? I don't, I'm not understanding that, because like this level of drama and trauma and like the Ryan Reynolds getting involved and like, you know, ambushing him and doing this and doing that. It's just like, well, what's the end goal? Right? I mean, it's just like, why go through all this? Is it like, oh, well, we were going to take this over and then get points at the end of the movie, which would, you know, be millions and millions of dollars? You know, okay. But it's like, is this just how you move through life? You know what I'm saying? Like victimizing all these people? It's bizarre and exhausting. Style Chat says she's a woman scorned by her potential side piece. I mean, it's just like, I mean, it's like, it's crazy. And Ryan Reynolds, done, right? Done. Yes, Sandy says, I'll never do anything to support her, Ryan Reynolds. I mean, seriously. I mean, they're disgusting. Okay, I'm going to go back to the thing here. Here we go. As Lively admits, filming resumed the following day and then concluded without any further grievances or references to previous disputes by Lively. The parties agreed to implement the following protections for return to production to ensure that the film could be completed, marketed, and released safely and successfully. And it was. Production of the film resumed January 5th, and concluded February 9th. The film has been a resounding success. That was my next thing. I was like, did it flop at the box office? Now that Lively had unleashed Reynolds on Baldoni and Wayfarer, they felt powerless to oppose the couple. Just as Lively had warned in April 2023, 9 months before, Reynolds would ensure that Lively's demands were met at every turn. From then on, Lively would get her way or else. Unmistakably, Lively would use her carefully constructed paper trail to destroy Wayfarer, Heath, Baldoni, and the film. this is like 100% Ryan is my husband. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm weaponizing Ryan Reynolds' name. Lively completes her usurpation of the film. The Directors Guild of America, DGA, requires a 10-week editing period for directors to privately edit and assemble their director's cut. This period is sacrosanct, I don't know how to say that, as it gives the director uninterrupted time to creatively shape the final product, a time to experiment, take risk, and refine until the film fully reflects their artistic vision. For Baldoni, this period is the peak experience of the filmmaking process, a time to immerse himself in the creative craft, free from external influences. But Lively denied Baldoni this experience on this very powerful and deeply felt film. Lively requested through producer Todd Black to join Baldoni in the editing bay. As a seasoned professional with over 20 years of experience in film and television, not to mention growing up in a family deeply involved in the industry, Lively knew full well the implications of her request. But in the aftermath of the serious and false allegations that she had leveled against Baldoni, Heath, and Wayfarer and the production, with pressure from Sony, they reluctantly agreed to grant her access to the editing bay for 2 days. Notably, despite her allegations that Baldoni made her uncomfortable, Lively insisted on working closely with him through the process. And here's the other thing too. I mean, so just this right here, like all that's going on, but she's willing to go like work with him in this, and again, I don't know how this movie business works. But also I think it's funny, it's just like she clearly can't get this on her own. Like she's having to bully her way into this. So this tells me that it's like, her talent, she can't stand on the talent alone to get to this position she's trying to. She's having to just like literally get in there and like, steal it from somebody. Okay, here we go. Justin. Good morning, Blake. Blank and I had, that's funny. Good morning, Blake. Blank and I had a great chat the other day, and he let me know you'd like to come into the edit before you leave for your film, and I think it's a great idea. Oh, he was hated right that. I agree that we work really well together, and with all you put into this film, I completely understand wanting to give notes and have input before you leave for your other movie. With that, I started my cut on Thursday, so tomorrow will be day 3. The movie is currently all over the place, and I need a few weeks to get it into some sort of shape to even present to you. What I would love to do is bring you in on the 18th and have us work together until you leave. Did I hear first week of April? Then once you are in Italy, as things progress, you can jump in on any free days or even on days you have a long wait between scenes. I'm also happy to send you progress scenes, etc., with any big changes that are made, as we all know things change all the time during a cut. For me, the editing process is the time to try things and throw it all against the wall to see what sticks. It's my favorite part of the process. So once you take off, we can just keep you in the loop and send you stuff to the extent you want to see it as we get closer to locking picture. Thanks. Let's see what she says. Blake. Hey, thank you for the note. I appreciate it. I'd love to be in the passenger seat with you as soon as possible. I don't need you to formally present anything. I understand you've just seen the first assembly and have a mountain ahead of you. I'll be invaluable to you and recall alone as you put together what you're looking for. I've also been rewatching all the dailies. Tons of nuanced gems. The sooner we put our heads together, the better. Very excited to dive back into work. Let me know. B. Hey, Blake, I hear you and I do know how helpful you've been and will continue to be. I do need some time to get sorted with my editors and wrap my head around the film itself. I will reach out to you at the end of the week to let you know the progress I've made so we can figure out the best time for you to start with me. Thank you. I mean, it's just this literally these text messages. I mean, we've already talked about this. Number one, they're huge. Number two, they're so fake sounding, y'all. Like you can tell that he's just like completely putting it on. And she just sounds like either like, okay, I got my way, so I'm happy, but also just like, so cheesy. That's a good word for it, cheesy. In, pardon me, in February and March 2024, Baldoni acceded to the request that Lively be led into the editing process. Okay, editor 1. Hey, just checking in. Hope you're hanging in there. We're going to get through this. Darn it. Justin, thanks for checking in. I've sat with it, and I think the best path forward spiritually and what's best for the movie is that I just suck it up and let her in. I've sent a message requesting it starts on the 18th, and then we would just let her in until she leaves, and then her cuts and updates throughout the process. I'll let you guys know what she says. Thanks for being awesome. Dream Team, we got you. I think that sounds like a very good plan on all fronts. Side note, I offered for her to join on the 18th, and she replied she'd like to join now because she will be invaluable to me as she knows every take. I'm going to stick to the date and see how that goes and what comes next. Oi, stick to it. When you get a moment, can I please get an ADR line from you for karaoke scene? And you don't do casual, I'll send you an audio reference. Okay, let me put together some form of a reel 5. The last scene was only half finished, so I'll swap in the last version temporarily. And hopefully Blink is working on SC11 Sound Pass this morning. Also, I think a valuable thing to do next week is going to be to get both of your systems set up in a way that you'll be able to find all the takes very quickly based on whatever you are comfortable with. Because I know for a fact that this is going to be something that Blake is going to end up doing. And the last time we can spend, the least time we can spend searching for takes, the better it's going to be for the overall process. There's something. Let me know if you guys need anything. I'm in LA and at my office until preview. For Blake, should I say 9:30 to 3 each day? And that gives you guys 3 hours for extra notes and other things, or 10 to 3? 10. That gives us wiggle room for any powwows before we meet with her. Either works for me. It would be good to have time before and after. How's it playing? Later in March 2024, Lively continued pushing for her demands as what had been a 2-day collaboration extended into 10. You already know when you let her in there, she ain't leaving until it's done. Right? She's gonna sit there. She's the type to be like, hey, like when kids are playing the game, like, hey, can I see the remote for a minute? And then they just take over 100%. Right? Okay. So as what had been done, a 2-day collaboration extended into 10, and Lively sought to work alone in the editing bay. She just wanted him gone without Baldoni so that she would have full control. Though Baldoni incorporated 7 pages of her notes into his edit at the very start and consistently kept her involved in every subsequent edit, despite having absolutely no obligation to do so, Lively was not satisfied with merely collaborating with the director. She wanted to be the director and see her own creative vision for the film realized. Again, what's the point of this? Is she trying to get a director credit? Like, what was the end goal for it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand other than the control thing, right? But like, it's just, I don't get it. Okay, let me go back. Please help. Here you go. Thank you for getting all this organized like that. We should all hop when we can tomorrow before she joins. Whatever works for you guys. I let her know we tested. She's asked for all the cards and data as well. Oh, wow. I was wondering if you were going to. I think it was the right call. The Best Defense is a great movie. I know we talked about an 11 a.m. start for tomorrow with Blake, which I think would be a very good idea. I think it's important that we meet with Blank beforehand in the morning so we can launch her working on music while we're working with Blake. Also, she's fresh eyes so we can talk to her about those things that came up from screening. Good morning from Blank. From Blank, FYI, Blake started watching the movie at 8:30 a.m. today on Pix. She did not watch it this weekend. Yes, she just texted she was starting. Shall we meet in my room at 9? Better to meet on Blank since she will have access to yours, just in case she comes on early. She doesn't have it yet, but happy to do that. What do we want to do about the falling in love montage? Now that I've gotten reel 3 off to music, I'm looking through reel 4 and see there are 2 cuts from the walk and talk first kiss scene in the love montage. The first one is obviously from that scene. The second one I think we can get away with. I just spoke to Blank, who's been through all the footage, and he said there's just no more kisses from scenes that weren't already in the movie. I just did a version of just taking out that first wider walk and talk kiss seems to work well. I think we have to wait on this until we solve the other Blake note of S romance after Atlas. We may pull the onesie S out or not. Meet in Blake wants to know when you could be there next week. I can fly on Sunday or Monday, up to you guys. And would you prefer to be there or edit from home? I honestly don't have a preference until it begins. We can push for you to stay home. It's up to you.
Both have pros and cons. I want Blake to feel like she's getting what she wants so we can move on from this need of hers. For the record, she's been getting what she wants this entire movie. hmm As the editors noted, Baldoni bent over backwards for Lively for months on end. I understand, and she's working and she's getting to edit, which is what she wants. Let's remember that. Yes, and yet, true. I don't want to give her any opportunity to say, well, because blank was in LA, we could only work certain hours, so I need more time, and I didn't really get what I needed, or whatever it may be. Point is, if you feel it's best and you want to go there, no problem at all. And also, if you would like to stay, pardon me, if you'd like to stay home, that's something that we can say. Just want you to do what's best for you. Point is, okay, we did that. I appreciate your protection and thought. I'm truly game for going if that's what she prefers. If she doesn't care, then save the money and have me work from home. You're definitely nicer than I am. I would want to stay here to make it less convenient for her since she's going to be on a completely different time zone. Justin has been over backwards for her for months on end. I don't think you should have to do that too. Um, Either way, you should do what's best for you, not her. If it were Texas or some random place, I'd be much more resistant. I'm a New Yorker. Some of my best friends live there, so I love going to the city. Both blank are leaving town on trips this week as well. Oh, excuse me. I'm starting to reject it. So it's not too complicated week for us. Okay, all good. I'm sensing a desire to go and also have some you time, which is great. Win-win. I'll let them know. I think the game is to ask for virtual and then give in and send you. As a practice, we can't just keep giving her everything on exactly her terms. Like I said, happy to go. Also, totally fine to stay. I can find the pros in either. Appreciate you. You too, sir. So, sir sounded much more formal than I intended. All good, ma'am. Make her stay in Italy. Tell her I demand to edit in Italy. On April 2024, As April 2024 approached, Lively gained approval rights over individual scenes. So are we keeping the thrust? I'll drink to that. Of course, I was planning on drinking anyways. That's going to end up being a Blake call, honestly. If you can get her to keep it in and it's in the movie when I get back, it can stay in. She has approval of that scene. Even for young Lily, I was just thinking the same thing. When she claimed she was unsafe, she redid the nudity rider to get approval of young Lily too. I mean, my God, she wants to control everybody. You know that these people are just like, get me done with this film. Got it. Happy Sunday, waiting for my plane. Blake is watching the cut tonight, and we start around noon tomorrow. I'll check in with you guys when we wrap up in the evening. Sounds good and safe travels. I really think something good might come out of all this. So far, every time this movie came up against adversity, it's somehow worked out to make the movie even better. Why stop now? It's going to be great, and you're the perfect person for the job. Safe travels. Let me scroll back up. When she claimed she was unsafe, she redid the nudity rider to get approval of young Lily. Oh, wait, we already did that. Okay. Popping in now. We just finished up for the day. Full day. Great. Should we all chat? Yes, but let me get out of the building. Then I can call. That was my thinking exactly. Of course. Jimmy would like to join. Thank you again. So sorry. You have to be in this position, yet no one better suited. Grateful for you. Finally, in April and May 2024, Lively's extortionate threats coerced Sony to allow her to create her own cut of the film. I mean, that is insane, y'all. I mean, obviously, I don't know Hollywood and how it works, but watching this is like crazy. Okay. Like she's manipulated her way into being able to edit the entire film. Like, I mean, really. This is crazy. Look at the unwielding power that these people are able to do just simply with a name. Whatever clout she has, and the fact that Ryan Reynolds is her husband. This is crazy. Okay, here we go. A right that is exclusively reserved for directors. At Wayfair and Sony's expense, and despite Baldoni and Wayfair's rightful protest, Sony's reasons for acquiescing to these beyond unreasonable demands were clear. Sony told Wayfair in no uncertain terms that Lively refused to promote the film unless her demands were met. Wayfarer, feeling increasingly cornered into agreeing to Lively's demands, attempted at least to require that Lively finally sign her engagement contract if her demands were to be met. Even this basic ask was refused, and Sony urged Wayfarer to give in. I mean, yes, she knows she's getting her way by playing the game. Okay, Jamie, I have Blank on here too. Blank has gotten Blake to approve the trailer we want, with our narration, the chair kick, the bruise, etc. And Blake is calling Taylor to approve the song. She, of course, just reached out saying she is asking for time with Blank, her editor. We know it was conditional on signing contract, but asking if you will reconsider so Blank can release his trailer and Blake does not change her mind recalling Taylor Swift. I'm available to talk on the phone. Call me free. You guys don't want to play ball. You're going to delay and greatly hurt the movie. Good luck. That is only if you want to make this date. We're going to need to push. Finish director cut. We can have multiple previews down the road. Baldoni and the film's original editors were not even allowed to see Lively's cut, even if just to see how much of their work had been replaced. Movie preview, combine whatever. This is great. I hope Blake got a copy. No, I don't think so. Wouldn't matter anyways. She has her mind made up. We focus on what's best for the film. It will all work out. Well, we're out in the world. Just curious if you guys have if you have peeked at her cut and if anything has changed. I have just been told that we are not permitted to look. Haha, wow. When did that happen? As per Sony, this evening. Wow, okay then. The editors and director isn't allowed to look at the actress's cut. Got it. Well, here we go. We will keep taking the high road. Still believing that in a sane and just world, despite Lively's continued extortion, an actress would never be allowed to usurp his legal right as a director to create and release his cut of the film. He assumed that Lively's edits would simply supplement his work. Thus, Baldoni continued refining his director's cut, but as Lively threatened to refuse to promote the film or approve any related marketing materials, such as trailers, posters, social media posts, a doomsday scenario for this major motion picture, Wayfarer and Baldoni were extorted into acquiescence to more and more demands. This included co-funding, together with Sony, a friends and family screening of her version of the film, which they had not approved or even seen, entirely at Lively's insistence. I mean, wow, this is crazy. The ego is insane. Ultimately, Lively replaced the film's editors with her own choice, an editor often used by Reynolds, and the film's editors had to be let go. She also replaced the film's award-winning composer with composers from Reynolds' recent project, even though the film's composer had already finished the score with an orchestra, which is costly. Sony supported Lively's demands and even enforced her dictate that the film's director and editors not be permitted to even view her cut. Wayfarer and Sony found themselves in an unprecedented and uncomfortable predicament of having two competing versions of the film, one made by the film's actual director and one made by a person with no contractual or creative right to even approach the editing bay, let alone make her own cut. But in light of Lively's threat to withhold promotion of the film, as well as her thinly veiled threat to end Baldoni's career with a slew of false accusations, the studio reluctantly agreed to do an official audience test of both versions, again at Wayfarer and Sony's expense. This decision was made on the understanding that Lively had agreed with Sony that if Baldoni's cut tested higher, she would drop the matter and fully cooperate so that Baldoni could finish the film without further interference. Tellingly, in a side-by-side comparison of audience tests, Baldoni's cut scored significantly higher with key audience demographics. Of course it did. Of course it did. Right? I mean, we could have already seen this coming, right? It's like, I mean, please. Okay, thank you. Spoke to Blank this morning. Gave her the latest. Spoke to Blank this morning, and she's putting in a request to release Blake's cut officially to us. Just getting on the road here and Blank home in a couple of hours. Get some rest. FaceTime. Editor. And our key demo over 20% higher and the excellent rating and 15% higher and the definite recommends. That says it all. One would think I'll have info at 4. Here's my info. She lost. Can we now move forward? Thank you. The only group she went up with in the excellent category was men, and they are absolutely not our audience. And that's only because she focused more of the movie on herself, and men like to look at Blake Lively. Men are such pigs. I felt like the up in men and women over 35 is something to look at, but it's so close that it could be just that particular audience and or the trailer factor. Or maybe there's something there to consider. Doesn't mean her, and it goes away. Not surprisingly, Lively reneged on her promise and insisted that her version be released to the public instead of Baldoni's cut as director, even claiming that the book's author, Colleen Hoover, would refuse to promote the film as well if Lively's version was not chosen. Sony called to tell Wayfarer that neither Lively nor any of the cast would promote the film unless Lively's cut were used. Baldoni was forced to choose between killing the film and his own career by insisting on his own creative vision and rights, or putting out a version of the film that Baldoni knew could still be so important to domestic violence survivors, even if it differed greatly from what it could have been. Baldoni reluctantly chose the latter and stood down, allowing Lively's version of the film to be released and promoted. Baldoni was essentially forced to fire himself as director and allow Lively to finish his film, knowing it was the only choice he could make to serve the greater good. 2 days later, Baldoni was hospitalized with serious spine infection. Eventually, with the key demographic being the focus, Sony and Screen Engine, the audience testing company, convinced Lively to put back as much of Baldoni's edit as they possibly could. None of this was officially communicated to Baldoni, but whispers reached him that part of his cut made it back into the final release. Baldoni made sure to thank and apologize to his editors, to whom Lively had caused to be let go. I'm so sorry. I love and adore you both, and will fight for you. And will fight for you in your recognition and sing your praises to the end. This will all work out. It's painful, but it will be okay. And we can rest knowing that we have created a beautiful work of art together. And yet, I'm so sorry. So there he's in the hospital. Hope ADR went well. Been admitted for 3 days for potential infection. So now you have a real reason to why I'm not doing ADR. I love and adore you both. Thanks for standing by me through all this. You guys are amazing. Holy cow, feel better. We didn't want to bug you during all of this, but our secret source has let us know that the new version they are previewing tomorrow has a bunch of our version put back in. Hold on one second. We just have to keep it quiet because we want to keep our back channel open. Feel better. Get well soon. We love you and all of this craziness. Heath and movie. Health and movie. It's going to work out. Darn it. Appreciate you both so much. By June 2024, Lively was dictating much of the marketing for the film she had stolen from Baldoni and Wayfarer. So now it makes sense how she literally stole the film, right? This is insane, right? So then on that other note, my question now is like, now I'm sitting here looking, I mean, we're probably going to get to this. So now knowing this, when she went on the campaign and was doing all the bizarre interviews that were going viral, maybe this is why she was then trying to sabotage it that way. You see what I'm saying? Okay, let's keep going. Infection in my spine, pretty serious. Great doctors and caught it early. Blank cat feeling. My body is done. Too much stress. We'll be in the hospital probably until Tuesday. Then IV antibiotics via a PICC line for 6 weeks, which means can't travel. Reed Garfield. So happy you liked it. Darn. Just take care of yourself. If Blake is so determined to handle the marketing on the movie, then just let her. Perfect time to look out for number one. Lively shamelessly removed Baldoni, the film's co-star, director, and executive producer, who had championed this film for 5 years and whose company had co-founded the entire project, out of all posters, trailers, and other promotional materials. She continued to refuse to promote the film otherwise. I mean, she really did just steal this from him. Wayfarer. Hey Jamie, we had a successful weekend at Book Bonanza, and the fans loved the book art displayed at the event. We would like to release this art as our second teaser poster for domestic distribution. Since it's already been released internationally in many markets, it only makes sense to use it domestically as well. We'd love to start printing tomorrow to get it into theaters. However, this version does not have Justin Baldoni's A Film By credit, so we would need to waive that. Please let me know if this is approved. Over Sony's objection, Lively insisted on screening her cut at Book Bonanza, Colleen Hoover's annual convention hosting authors and fans from around the world, an event that Baldoni had long been excited to attend, but Sony made it known to Wayfarer that per Lively, Baldoni could not attend, notwithstanding the obvious promotional and PR risk. Lively appeared on a panel alongside Hoover and other cast members, icing out Baldoni from this critical event for his own film. He was not even allowed to review the final cut before it was shown to the world. Let's see. Hi, Jamie. Hi, Jamie filled me in. Wait, about book club. I know this is a devastating and such a kick in the gut. It's petty and childish at this point. I'm just making sure you're okay. We will get through this. I am the prize for her attending BookCon as a win for the film ultimately, and if she wants to drag her butt to Texas, then let her. You can be home with your family, which is important. She's kicked me out officially from the film now. She's finishing it all. I can't be involved. Music, sound, VFX, everything. And I'll make it through somehow. Just need to feel it all. Okay. Looks fun. By the way, the picture was supposed to get locked this week. Did that happen? Just curious. What version is going out in the world with all of our names on it? I'll watch soon. No idea. Repitcher. Where is this? Evidently, they are all at Book Bonanza. Hard. Oh boy. But second test didn't go any better. Over 35 went down and under stayed same. I guess Sony asked for more changes to get it closer to our cut, but I haven't watched. They are showing it at Book Bonanza. The whole movie? Yep, hers. Wow. Was supposed to be ours, and then I was uninvited. The whole thing is pretty cruel and intense. Uneffing believable. Ugh, sorry, Justin. Love you both. I just hope you love for at least stomach that cut is coming out to the world. I can't see that. By July 2024, Baldoni was completely locked out of the film's final cut. By virtue of his role at Wayfarer, he was permitted to give notes as a studio. This only added insult to injury because he should not have been giving notes. He should have been editing the film. Despite his personal feelings, he redirected his thoughts to focus on the one positive. The film, years in making, was very close to being seen by the world, even if it was no longer his film. He prayed for the possibility that the film could still make the impact he intended when he first reached out to Colleen Hoover in 2019. Justin, just wanted to check in. Are you back to 100%? And any updates on our little movie? Just hoping all is good with everyone and everything. Sorry, blank, missed this. Didn't mean to not respond. Really been distancing myself from the movie as best as I can for my sanity. Lots of great internal work, finding real gratitude. Been some more hard things over the last few weeks that would blow your mind. We'll all catch up soon. Today I have to give notes on the final mix. I have not seen the locked cut of the film. Evidently, it's been worked on more and she's been mixing. I'm getting to give notes as a studio today, not a director. Very hard, but I'm okay. Really doing a lot of work to detach. We made a beautiful baby together. The baby might not grow up shown exactly who we thought, but it's still beautiful. That's what I'm holding on to. Very proud of us. Wow, I can't say I'm shocked because I was hoping that you were going to be able to not let this beat you down, and it sounds like you have achieved that. And yes, this movie we handed her was so good that even if it's been screwed with, the base work will still shine through. The last I heard was that she was putting back a fair amount of our version, just not sure what that entailed or to what extent. I guess you'll find out today. Hang in there, we'll all catch up when the wounds are not quite as fresh. Sending love to you both. If you think about it, we didn't even finish our director's cut because she intervened. So ideally, at some point, we can take a week and all just do it together for ourselves. But that opens up a can of worms. So we'll need to let this play out for a while before we pull a card. And your door will be knocked on. The amount of women who feel seen, that it's reaching people all over the world, that men are remembering their own traumas and having conversations with their partners. That's why we did this. And it worked. Still the dream team. Incredible. That's the best news. Lively was still not satisfied. She continued to extort Wayfarer, Baldoni, and even Sony, threatening to abandon her contractual obligation to promote the film or approve marketing materials if she wasn't awarded a producer credit. I mean, at this point, she wants this to be a one-woman show. It's like even the roles that she wasn't playing, like she was like, give me credit for that. I mean, I really don't get how this happens, right? I really don't get this. Now it's like almost I don't. It's like I don't want to watch it, but I do. You know what I mean? The best thing that this dude could have done was release this stuff to the public. And another thing too, how I was talking about where the author was obsessed with Blake. You know how they said that the rest of the cast wouldn't do the promotion? So this is my question. Was Blake going to the rest of the cast and saying he did this and blah blah blah, blah and you have to team up with me? Like, why wasn't anyone else like why was everybody ganging up against him? You see what I'm saying? Like, where was that? Yeah, I wonder if they'll release Baldwin's cut, or I'm sorry, Baldwin's cut for Baldoni's cut. Okay. This still wasn't enough. Lively later saw the coveted PGA mark on her producer credit, a certified designation licensed by the Producers Guild of America to identify producers who have performed the majority of the producing work on a motion picture. Neither Baldoni nor Wayfair believed Lively fulfilled the requisite criteria to earn this mark, but that did not matter to Lively. I mean, no, why would it? She can literally badger her way into it. Lively demanded again with extortionate threats that Baldoni, Heath, and other producers and department heads send letters to the PGA in support of her certification for the PGA mark. Despite unanimous recognition of the absurdity and the unmistakably extortionate threats, Sony and other parties, despite being adamant not to support Lively's demand for the unentitled mark, ultimately acquiesced and submitted letters of support. I mean, she has gotten everything she wanted because you also have to understand. I don't know the relationship between Ryan Reynolds and Sony, but is Matt? Do you know is Ryan Reynolds associated with Sony with Deadpool? There's something with that because I feel like this reeks of that. Like there's way more things that play behind the scenes, right? Okay. However, Wayfair and Baldoni firmly resisted because Lively did not perform the duties of a producer and therefore did not merit the PGA mark, a distinction highly valued and taken seriously within the industry. Wayfair and Baldoni refused to devalue the contributions of actual producers on the film and elsewhere who merited the mark and were unwilling to misrepresent Lively's contributions to the film. Having been forced in the face of extortionate threats to concede to Lively's every demand thus far, they believed it would be dishonest, unethical, and unjust to producers who rightfully earned the mark to falsely represent to the PGA that Lively had fulfilled the requisite producing responsibilities. Asking that they lie on her behalf was the final straw, or so they thought. In response, Lively instructed Sony to tell Wayfair and Baldoni that any good will left between us is done. Eventually, in the face of persistent threats and extortion, Wayfair and Baldoni were left with little choice but to draft and sign a letter of support on Lively's behalf, but not before Heath sent an email to Wayfair's attorneys documenting that he and Baldoni were signing the letter under duress. Okay, I might have to make this please out. Hi everyone, I'm writing to you all regarding a letter that I wrote on behalf of Justin and myself addressed to the Producers Guild. As you know, we received a request to write a recommendation on behalf of Blake for her to receive the PGA mark. This was a request that we felt was unreasonable and cold-hearted. Essentially, the movie has been taken unjustly from Justin as a director and essentially from Wayfair's control due to the extortion of Blake. Without going into all the details of the events that have transpired over the months, Justin and I ended up agreeing to write the letter due to feeling trapped. She continues to hold a threat over our heads, and every time we try and hold a line, she uses that threat, either directly or indirectly, to get us to fold. Make no mistakes, I am not suggesting that we were literally forced to acquiesce. But given the high profile of the movie, the partnership with Sony, the amount of money invested, and the need to complete the movie, we have written the letter on her behalf, omitting the truth of how and why she was able to contribute in the way we listed. There is nothing There is nothing to do with this letter now. It only serves as a way to memorialize why the letter was sent in the first place, should we ever need to explain it. I mean, wow. Can you imagine? Dear members of the Producers Guild of America, we hope this letter finds you well. We are writing to inform you of the significant role and contributions that Blake Lively has played in the making of this film. It ends with us, based on the best-selling novel by Colleen Hoover. This film has meant a great deal both personally and to our company, Wayfarer Studios, as we optioned the property nearly 5 years ago. As such, we've been directly involved in overseeing every step of development, from adapting the book to the big screen, to bringing on our co-financer, distributor, Sony, and of course, casting our lead. From the time Blake was brought on, she has had an instrumental voice in many different aspects in the making of the film. Her contributions have been impactful. She was consulted with many of the casting options. She helped refine the script. She redesigned her own wardrobe, as well as gave notes on others. She contributed to the production design and set decoration, and had influence on how many of the scenes were shot. Blake has been very involved in the post process as well. She she has taken an active role in the edit, the sound mix, and has made decisions on the music selections and score. She also continues to find creative ways to promote the film so that it can achieve its great success. Since contractually she began the movie with an EP credit, our earlier submission to the PGA did not include her as a named producer. But we both feel her contributions have warranted the revised credit and consideration for the PGA mark. On behalf of Wayfarer Studios, Justin and Jamie, I mean, y'all, you know that they were absolutely dying. Okay, dying, right? This is crazy. Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to go through the next page, and then we're going to call it good for the night because I got to go to bed. I'm so tired. We'll eventually get through this. We're at 92, so we'll finish page 92, and then we'll keep going. So that's here we go. As the premiere of the film approached, Lively made good on her promise and instructed Sony that she and the cast would not participate. Wait, hold on, time out. As the premiere of the film approached, Lively made good on her promise and instructed Sony that she and the cast would not participate in any marketing or promotion of the film alongside Baldoni, in spite of Baldoni and Wayfarer's acquiescence to all her demands. She made certain that Baldoni was removed from all artwork for the film, posters included, and stripped him of his A Film by credit. Lively and Reynolds also unfollowed him on social media, as did the author of the book, someone with whom Baldoni had maintained a 5-year personal relationship, and for whom Baldoni created this opportunity. I mean, I love how these people just ditched him immediately. I mean, did they not see these personality traits in Blake either? I mean, I love that these people are all being put out here on Front Street, right? The other cast members also unfollowed Baldoni, creating the false impression that Baldoni had done something wrong. On information and belief, Lively induced the other cast members to shun Baldoni in an early attempt to give fans the impression that Baldoni had committed an egregious sin, something so egregious that no one wanted to even take photos with him or have him around. Lively was leaving what she had earlier referred to as crumbs, a social media strategy she had learned from a close celebrity friend, to give fans just, and gee, who could that be? Give fans just enough to allow them to come to their own conclusions, thereby launching an army of detectives that, on information and belief, Lively hoped would turn against Baldoni. The unfollowing of Baldoni by cast members and even the author of the book, who he had a long-standing relationship with, was done without warning or any communication from him, in stark contrast to the warm praise and appreciation cast members had, until that point, always showered on him. For example, Isabel Ferrer, cast as young Lily, exchanged grateful texts with Baldoni during and after her filming stint, which included a number of scenes involving intimacy. Okay, yeah, let's leave it here. So I'm going to, where's my phone? I'm going to take a picture of this right here so I'll know where we're at tomorrow. Yeah, this right here. Now I want to see the movie, but y'all are saying it's bad. It's like all that on top of that. What an evil human being. let me get back to y'all real quick. What an evil human being. Yeah, 100% Taylor Swift. 100% Taylor Swift. I mean, it's like absolutely Taylor Swift. Yeah, like this is just crazy. That letter was sending me. Yeah. And May says creative ways to promote the film. I mean, seriously. Now it's like people are just cringe watching it like me, like, yeah, well, I want to go see. Volume B says it was more after school special than it was supposed to be. And so now it's like somebody said earlier they should release this version. I think they should too. And in fact, I want to go look and see. It ends with Blake Lively. It ends with us. Of course, it's just her on the cover. I mean, yeah, this is like a vanity piece. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Brenda says you see her interviews. So now I'm thinking of the interviews, she did that on purpose. But yeah, Blake Lively would be good to play Sarah Boone, right? It would not be that much of a stretch for character. Here, the boys. It's that witching hour. So the squeaking that you're hearing, Jake will get a squeaky toy, and he literally follows the puppies around, squeaking it at them to get them to play. It's so adorable, but literally, it's just like, oh my gosh. Your coffee drinker brings up a good point. The movie isn't bad; it's just not as good as the book. And this stuff is all convincing, but so is the stuff coming from her side. I'm not convinced either way, which is why I would not cancel anyone. Yeah, I mean, and this is the thing too. So I'm curious now because I have not read like if she has something like this that she put out too. I haven't read that yet. So I'd be curious now to see what she's saying. You know what I mean? Um, because this is like a roller coaster. I mean, I'm just like, this literally, this is the most stressful work environment, like whatever side or it doesn't matter, like just this level of drama is like, I cannot imagine. Let's be nice. Hey. Now we're gonna all fight over the same toy. Okay, so I'm gonna go to bed. It's supposed to be freezing, but it's already getting super cold here. Y'all have a good night. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Indy. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. We're gonna continue doing this. If it's tomorrow night, I'll let y'all know. Probably will be. And oh, Emily's off. Oh, there you go. All right. Well, have a good one, y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out. Thank you for suffering through this for several nights. We'll get through it eventually. There's no way I could have gotten this without y'all hanging out with me doing it. So I appreciate it. Y'all have a wonderful day tomorrow, and I will talk to you soon. Y'all take care.